Hey, what's up everyone? I'm outside, so hopefully the dog barking doesn't bother you, but I'm going to go into a little bit more detail about the previous video where I mentioned that out-of-body experience that I had, and I appreciate the feedback and everyone sharing with me their own personal out-of-body experiences and ascension experiences. So some were saying that must have been amazing, that feeling, and it was. I'd say 75% of it was amazing. So when I was sleeping, I went into this dream state and I left my body, and there was this lecture being given by this individual that I assume was an angel. He was a tall individual with dark hair, short hair, and he was showing this projection, I guess, and he put his arm out and said, "Pay attention to this. This is important." And he said, "This is what you're made of. This is the fundamental thing that holds all things together, holds everything together, basically. This is the most important thing in existence." And he said that this cross he showed, it was a black cross, which a lot of times I think, well, black crosses, that sounds evil, but I don't know. It was this dark cross that looked like this. And so he then showed it, and I ascended. My arms were out to the side, my head was looking upward, and I ascended, and I became one with everything. It was this, at first it felt I felt this overwhelming sense of peace and love and just light and positivity and kindness, all things good. And about 75% of it was positive. And then it's like just this overwhelming, you can't even put it into words. You can't describe the euphoric love and peace, tranquility, just greatness that I felt. And then came the darkness and the dark side, or evil, and all of that. It was all. Then I felt everything, and I knew everything. Not knowledge, just beyond. There was you could ask any question, I'm sure, and I would have been able to answer it in that state. There was no questions. There was no questioning. There just was, and it's the only way to describe it is just. I was. I mean, just everything was. Maybe I was one with the I am. And it was that experience it's an experience that I could never put into words or describe this experience, but it was amazing. It was something. It really was. And when I became that oneness with everything, the darker parts is what I didn't care for. About 75% of it was awesome, and then part of the way through that's when, sort of like the knowledge of good and evil, that's when the darker parts and all of that hit, and I had the knowledge of all of that. Everything that was, is, and will be was connected with me. And I had hit that state of consciousness that I guess many call unity consciousness. Universal consciousness, whatever it's called, I was oneness with it. It was an amazing experience, but really, it was also an overwhelming burden to experience all the darkness and negativity. Maybe if I could have handled it better, I'm sure I could have eventually somehow coped with it. But there was this universal sense of knowing and just oneness, knowledge, everything. But I knew both good and bad, dark and evil things and deeds and everything, and truths that had happened, and everything that was, is, and will be, and everything around, every realm, everything. All I know how to describe it as was everything. Everything and everything in between. And I felt that oneness, and can't describe it now. You can't describe where I was at when I ascended up from that room, from out of that body, lifted, ascended up, because I paid attention to what he presented and what he shown. And it's like when I was shown that image of that cross, that it looked kind of like, but why it was black, I don't know. It looked kind of like that. And when that happened, I just went, my arms my side and head upward, and I ascended upward and became oneness with the source, oneness with everything, just became one with all. That's the only way I know how to describe it. I just was, and I was oneness with all. And maybe I was one with the I am, with the source, with God. I mean, that's one way. That's one way I can describe it. But it was just so amazing and so it was just something, I'll tell you. And then when I came back to my body, I had a really bad headache, and it was a migraine that didn't want to go away. And every time I tried to think back and recollect what I had been shown, and recollect that vision or dream from those realms, it gave me a migraine and I went blank. It's like I was recalling something that it would only come to me as it would. Like when I tried to recall that dream, only the parts that would even allow to be presented to me would come back. Like the instructor that showed me that cross and then I ascended. That's the one part that was given back to me as a memory, and I was allowed to see. If I tried to remember any more, like right now, if I tried to remember any more, I would just go blank, and my head would just go blank. And you draw a blank that you can't describe, and you get nauseated and sharp pains and a migraine. So I just let it come back to me as it did, and that's what happened. And it was very, very surreal. It was something that was just something beyond explanation. So, yeah, that's what happened. And I experienced oneness with everything. My out-of-body experience where I became, I guess it felt like I was one with God and I was one with everything. But it was like a burden at the same time, because knowing all, being with one with all and knowing all, it was peaceful at first, and then when you got the knowledge of the other, of the darkness, that's when it was too overwhelming. And then I was like, I can't handle this. I couldn't handle this kind of all this at once. And then it built up, and then after that I went back to my body. I'm sure I could have handled it eventually, but there was no conception of time there, so it was just, and I know when I woke up, time had gone by. Like 1 minute was forever. I mean forever. Time has been crazy. It's almost like the realm of the higher realms, their time is seeping in, sort of seeking into, kind of leaking into hours every once in a while. But yeah, oneness with everything. My out-of-body experience. That's what happened. And there's so much more to share. I'll try to share details about it another time, but I just became one with everything. That oneness. It was overwhelming. The majority of it was awesome. It was just such a great and awesome feeling you can't describe. A heavenly feeling that you just can't put into earthly words. But then the 25% of it, the part of the darkness and stuff, that was overwhelmingly too much to handle. Of every universe, every life form, every existence, and every thing that ever existed. Anyway, so yeah. Peace and much love. Everything that exists. I was one with everything in that form. And thank you for all of your feedback. I now have I ordered, thank you to Jose Martinez for his generous donation. I finally found the camera I was looking for from a seller on eBay. So I used the PayPal money on eBay to order one of the Ghost Pro cameras with the infrared, night vision, Wi-Fi connection, 4K quality, and it's supposed to have the full 360 spectrum, I think. It's full spectrum, night vision, infrared, and all of that good stuff. So, it's supposed to have all of that good stuff included. So, hopefully it will. They said it should be shipping out soon, and possibly be here by May 2nd. I don't know. So I'm looking forward to that. Thank you to Jose Martinez for giving me the money to be able to buy that, and I look forward to using it. And anyone else that wants to donate, anyone else that, I mean, it would just help me out, be able to buy things, not only for this channel, but to be able to just, it would just help out financially, and it'll help out in general. Thank you so much to those who have donated, and thank you very much to Jose Martinez's generosity. And I bought a micro SD card for it as well, so I could have a good amount of expandable memory. And so yeah, it would help us out a lot. There are several things on eBay that I can get to not only help with this channel, but just for us, and I can use that PayPal money there. And thank you very much. Anyone that would like to donate, feel free to do so and donate more, and it would help out. And I'll keep sharing my videos. Lord willing, I'll keep sharing my experiences. But that was such a deep experience that I can't even put into words. Anyway, peace, much love, and God bless. Bye.